Okay, someone please confirm if my screen is visible. Type yes in the chat box. My screen is visible. Okay then. So yesterday the discussion was on top of the static context in Java. Okay, so let us do a small recap. That is a good practice actually. So the static keyword in Java could be used for the following entities. So can be used for variables, methods, blocks, and imports. Typically, the static variables are they are just variables, and they just get declared with the static keyword. That's it. This is an on instance variable, and when you use the static keyword, it becomes static variable. As simple as that. And again, when a variable is placed outside the method but within the class by using the static keyword, you use the static keyword, but the variable has to be placed outside the class inside the class but outside the method. Okay, those variables are called as static keywords. The variable should come along with the static keyword. Okay, so there are some points that needs to be observed. So the static variables are recognized and executed at the time of loading the bytecode to the memory, dot class file to the memory. Okay, so static variables are shareable. Okay, the data is always shareable. We have seen these things in the programmatical explanation yesterday. If you want to if you want to know again, you can revisit that video once again. Please be informed that the single copy of static variable is shared among all the objects. So we know this already. These are just the point, and you don't get any null pointer exception if you want to access the static variables by using the object reference, which is pointing to the null value. Okay, so these are the examples, and I don't think we need much explanation on this. Okay, today the topic is what? Today the next entity is what? The static methods. Okay, static methods. Please focus here. So before even proceeding with the static method, I have come across through an interview question. So let me see who is going to answer this. A very simple interview question. The question is like, there is a static variable. Okay. So static variable, but this variable, the variable A is not holding the value directly. Instead, it is holding a value indirectly. It means I am assigning a method to the variable A. A method has been assigned to the variable A. Usually what we do for every variable, a data will be assigned or a value will be assigned. This is called as the direct assignation, right? But for a change, I am assigning a method, but this method is going to return a value. Indirectly, again, this method is going to return a value. Okay, let us build this method. Okay, so I am building the method like static method. Return type is what? Integer type. The name of the method is method1, right? And this method is going to return a value 100. Okay. Apart from this, system.out.println, okay, static method. Okay, just for the recognition that this method is getting executed. Okay, now focus here. So when I ask you how many entities are there in class A, for instance, inside the class A, how many methods are there? Just answer me, just type in the chat box how many methods are placed in class A. How many methods are there? How many methods are there in class A? How many methods are there in class A? How many methods? Direct answer. Look at the program and tell me how many methods are there. Hello, I'm asking you guys. 2 methods are there, right? Everyone answer, everyone participate. Why you are not participating? 2 methods are there in class A. Everyone participate. Everyone type. Samyukta type. Parimi type. Everyone has to type. When I ask you, you should type. Everyone has to type. Two methods are there. So we will keep the session interactive. That's the reason why I'm asking you to type. Okay. How many variables are there? Okay. When I say variables, how many variables are there? Be specific with the variable. Whether it is a static variable or not. If you find a static variable, just say that one static variable is there. If you find a non-static variable, that say that the number of non-static variable. Be specific with the answer. So how many variables are there here? One variable is there. So that one variable is of what? Static type. Okay, so I am also taking another instructions and another instruction inside the main method. Okay, so I'm going to say this as main method, right? So now think and tell me, the moment I execute this code, the moment I compile and I execute this code, what is the output now? What is output, expected output that we can see in the console the moment I execute this code? Meanwhile, let me open the command prompt. You please, help me with the answer. Okay. What is expected output? Any answers for me? Any answers? Samyukta states static. Sweta says compilation error. What about others? Good that you are answering. What about others? What about Parimi? What about Jyoti has just joined? What about okay, Samyukta? Good. Static method, main method. What about others? Static method, main method. Okay, so let us understand this. So we need to understand this with the theory that I have given yesterday. We need to understand this with what? With the theory that I have given yesterday. Let me remove this. Okay, let's go back to the theory. The theory says, especially the static variables. The static variables are recognized and initialized at the time of loading the respective .class file to the memory. Right? First, let me run this and see if the answers that you have given is matching with the answers that is being executed here. Okay, let us see that. Okay. So let me save this. So it has been saved successfully like a.java. After saving, I need to perform what? I need to perform the compilation. Look, now see, now is observe each and every step. For the compilation, the command is java c space -d space dot space file name dot java. What is the file name that has been used to save this? A.java. A.java is the file. Use that file name for the compilation. Okay, compilation is successful. How do we know that compilation is successful? Okay, go back to this folder. Go back to this path. D Java 3 folder is there. Inside the Java 3 folder, you will see the .java file and the package. Why ABC folder is created? Go back to the code. So we have created a package with the name of ABC. That's why ABC folder is created. Inside that folder, .class file will be generated. See? Inside the ABC folder, you see what? You see .class file. Okay, now let me execute this. For the execution, java space abc.a, because the a file, the a.class file is inside ABC folder. That's why abc.a. Okay, static method, main method. This is the answer. Okay, why we are getting this answer? Very simple. Very simple. So let me go to the visit the paint screen. So this is an interview question. So stay focused. Okay, you may get this question. Being a fresher, if you are capable to answer this question or if you are capable to guess the answer, definitely, the interviewer will be impressed. Okay, so this is the code. Okay, hope you are able to see this. I think this font is looking fine, right? Okay, now see, now what we have done so far, everyone listen here. Okay, the file, the program which I have created needs to be saved first of all. After writing the code in the notepad, this file needs to be saved. So I had used the .java extension along with the class name a.java. That is the rule. Use the class name with the .java extension. Okay, this has been saved successfully. After successfully having this program saved, you need to perform the compilation. Okay, for the compilation we also know the command for the compilation. Okay, this is the compiler. Okay, the moment you give the command like java c space -d space dot representing current directory space, what is it, a.java. The moment you give this command, this a.java file will be loaded inside the compiler, and this compiler is going to do the compilation. After the successful compilation, it is going to generate what? It is going to generate a.class file. It's going to generate what? A.class file. Okay. So far so good. Okay, this was the compilation. Till here we have just completed the compilation. We have just completed what? Compilation. Now execution is pending. Okay. For execution, JVM come into picture. What is JVM? Java Virtual Machine. JVM. Okay. Now you understand. For the execution, the command. So in the command prompt, I have used a command like java space abc dot. ABC is representing the package. This is the package. Dot A is representing the dot class file. Okay, this is it is so. The moment you give this, a dot class file will be loaded into the JVM. Okay, now let me go back here. Okay, so this is a typical line. Okay, just read this line once again. What it says: the static variables are recognized and initialized at the time of loading the what? Loading what? Time of loading the respective dot class file to the memory. So this is the respective dot class file, don't you think so? At the time of loading the respective dot class files to the memory. Memory means JVM. Okay? The moment it is getting loaded, what is happening? The moment the dot class file is getting loaded, okay, these static variables are recognized and initialized. Right? So it will do the initialization, recognition and initialization the moment this dot class file is loaded. Okay? At the time of this, okay, the static variable is recognized. Where is the static variable here? So this is the static variable. Okay? It has to be recognized. It has to be recognized and initialized. Now see what is happening. What is happening behind the scenes? Okay? It has to get initialized, right? So in the JVM, there is an area called method area. Method area is a kind of memory area. We know this already. We have discussed about this in our previous classes. Okay. There is an area called what? The method area. Okay. This method area, usually it stores the static variables. Usually value, we have the variable name as a, but this variable name, this variable is storing not a value, it is storing a method. It is storing what? It is storing a method. So it need to fetch the value by executing this method. Okay, some value needs to be stored. Okay, what does it really mean? The moment this dot class file is being loaded into the memory, static variables needs to be recognized. It means it should be complete. We have the declaration, but assignation is pending. Why assignation is pending? Because we are assigning a method instead of value. So this method 1 needs to get executed. Now what happens? Okay, the instructions in the method 1 will get executed first. So what is the first instruction? First instruction is what? The direct static method will be displayed in the console. So let us imagine that this is the console. Okay, static method will be displayed. Why static method will be displayed? That method 1 is getting executed. Why method 1 is getting executed? Because the method 1 is returning a value. We need to get that value first. JVM has to get that value. So all the instructions in the method 1 will get executed. So static method will get displayed in the console. Okay, the next line is what? It is returning 100. Okay. Now this 100 is going to be stored in the variable here. Okay, 100 is being returned. Now this 100 will be stored where? It will be stored in the variable here. Now this line is making more sense. Because of this statement, the static variables are recognized and initialized at the time of loading the respective dot class file to the memory. Okay, dot class file is loaded, static variable is recognized and initialized. Static variable is what? Recognized and initialized. Okay, since I am using a system.out.println statement, static method is being displayed in the console. Right after this, okay, this is called as what? This memory area is called as what? The method area. Don't forget this. Is what? Method area. Method area. Okay. After this, the JVM will create a main thread. JVM will create what? Main thread. Okay. Now main thread will get access to what? Main thread will get access to the main method. Okay, where is the main method? This is the main method. All the instructions inside the main method will get executed. What is the? We have only one instruction, which is the main method itself. So this main method will be displayed in the console. Don't you think so? Now output is going to be what? The second line that will be displayed in the console is what? The main method itself. So this explanation is required for you when you are delivering this answer to the interviewer. Are you getting this, everyone? Making sense? Yes, no? Why static method? Why main method? Everyone? What about others? Only Jyoti is getting this. Shweta is not getting this. Teja, Jyotiyan, Parimi, Samyukta, Jyoti, yes. Respond. Everyone respond. Everyone respond. Please respond. Okay. Okay, now you got to know. Okay, so when you get this question in the interview, I think you will be able to answer. You don't see value. This value, you know, this variable a will fetch the value first, so that it has to execute this method. Value will be stored, then the main method will come into the picture. Right? So now we will get into what? We will get into what? Static methods in Java. Okay. Static methods. What are the static methods? It is a set of instructions that is going to perform a particular task, and it will be recognized and executed the moment you call that method, or the moment you access that method. Very simple. This is very self-explanatory. How do you define a static method? So this is an ordinary method, ordinary Java method. I mean the concrete Java method is what? Void. When I do this, void method one. Okay, the method has a name. When a method has a return type, okay, and when you allow parameters, and the method has a block, okay, this method is called as instance method. This is called as what? Instance method. The moment you declare this method as static with the static keyword, this becomes static method. Okay, so this is instant method. The moment you give static, if you ever had to convert the instant method to the static method, okay, very simple, just give the static keyword. So this is what? This is instance method, and this is what? This is static method. Okay, now look at the theory. Theory says it is a set of instructions that is going to perform a particular task, and it will be recognized and executed the moment you access that method. The moment you access that method. But the question is, how do we access this method? So let us understand that. Okay, let me remove all this. I'm going to take only one static method here. Static void method one. Let me remove this also. Static method. This is static method. I am taking another method to do the comparison. Okay, so to do the better comparison, we will work with what? An instance method and static method. So this is instance method. Okay, let me change the method name as method2. Okay, so I have a class A, guys. I have a class A. Within class A, I have placed some methods. Okay, now give me the count of this method. How many methods are there in the class A? Totally. How many methods are there in the class A? Come on, guys. Everyone answer. How many methods are there in the class A? How many methods? I am repeating the question. How many methods are there in the class A? Again, 3 methods are there. 3 methods are there. Why? This is one method. This is another method. Main method is also a method. This is also a method. 3 methods. How many static methods are there? Come on. How many static methods are there? Now I am being very specific. How many static methods are there? How many static methods are there? I am asking you again and again. How many static methods are there? Just now I said, guys. Just now I said what I said. If you define any method with the static keyword, it is called a static method. Just find how many static keywords are there. This is one static keyword. This is one static keyword. 2 static methods are there. Yes or no? 2 static methods are there. Good, Samyukta. Good, Jyoti. Yes. How many instance methods are there? How many instance methods are there? One instance method is there. Okay, the moment you look at a class, you should be in a position to differentiate between the methods. Okay, you may be coming across n number of methods. You should be in a position to differentiate between the methods. Why that is important? Because it depends upon this method whether this method could be called by creating an object or it can be called without creating an object. For example, okay, so the Java theme says you can have static methods, but the static methods, see, look at the ability of the static method. Static methods can be accessed by the object reference or by using the class name or by using the class name directly. Static methods can either be accessed by using the object reference or by using the class name directly. Where? In the Java applications. Okay, what does it mean? We have 2 options to access the static methods. One is by using the class name. When I say by using the class name, let me remove this. What is the name of the class? A, right? I can directly do like A dot method2. A dot what? Method. Okay, if I do this, I don't have any issues. I don't think I will face any issues. This is one of the ways. I am able to call the static method. Okay, can we do the same thing with non-static method? That is the question. Okay, so this method is a non-static method. Can I just call this method just like the way that I have called static method? It is not possible. See, by using the class name is what? A. What I am calling a method. What method is this? Method 1 is of what? It's a non-static method. Okay, if I try to do this, definitely I am going to get an error. Non-static method cannot be referenced from a static context. It means object creation is mandatory to call a non-static method from a static method. But to call a static method, you can do this way. This is one of the ways. This is what? This is one of the ways. Syntax. Class name dot method name. What is the other way? Create an object. We can create an object like this. We can create an object. Okay, create the object for the current class. A obj equal to new A. Okay, you can also call the static method by using the reference variable obj dot method 2. Okay, by using the reference variable I can call the static method, or by directly using the class name I can call the static method. Now you tell me what is the output now. I have just did two method. I have just done two method calls. When I execute this code, what is the output? What do you think the output is going to be? Everyone, come on, guys, answer. Everyone should answer. We don't have any variables. We don't have. We have only methods. Okay, I am calling methods. Just try to understand. Try to focus on which method is being called. What is output? Good, good, good. No, two times we get static methods. This is static method will be printed two times. See, let me run this. Let me run this. Compilation is successful. So this is static method. Why two times being printed? This is one method called first call. First call. So for the first call, this M2 method will be executed. So output is going to be this is method will be in the console. Second method call. So, but I am calling the methods in two ways. First way I am choosing the object reference. Second way I am using the class name. Second way I am doing what? I am choosing the class name. Right? So two times this is static this one. So can we do this? Let us see. Without using anything, can we call the static method directly? Can we do this, guys? Tell me. What are your thoughts? I'm not using the object reference. I'm not using the class name. I'm directly using the method name. Can we do this? What is your thoughts? Don't know, sir. Good, good, good. What about others? Respond. Everyone should respond. Keep the session interactive. Jyoti, yes. Jyoti, N. What happened to you guys? Respond. Can we call the static method just by the method name? Answer can be yes or no, or can be don't know. Sweta says yes. What about Parimi? What about Venkatesh? Okay, let me do this. So here the iron, the Java, it is like we can call that, but it is highly recommended to use the class name or the object reference. We can do this method call because this is also a static method. This is also a static method. Okay, so you can call a static method directly inside another static method, no issues. But this is not recommended. Why this is not recommended? Readability will be reduced. Okay, readability will be reduced. So you are being specific here. You are being specific here. So in the class A, okay, please call the method 2. It is very specific. But if this is also specific for this, but in this context, but in the future we may be having n number of classes. So in order to deal with n number of classes, so if you call method 2, it is not going to be very specific. So readability will be reduced. Confusion will be happening. So this is not recommended but possible. But making sense, guys, everyone? Yes, no? Okay, syntax by using object reference. Third one is by using the method name directly. Okay, can we call instance method directly? No, Samyukta. I will tell you that. Okay, so this is a good question actually, because see, a static context is always shareable. Okay, the moment you change any static variable, it will reflect for all the objects. Okay, but instance variables are not shareable. Instant variables are what? They are not shareable. That's why every time in order to access, see what happens. See, this is the main method. Inside the main method, I wanted to call method 1. Now you tell me method 1 is an instance method, right? It's an instance method. Okay? The moment I try to call this, see, it says non-static method cannot be referenced from a static context. Okay, it says you are not eligible to be called inside the static method because this is non-static. Okay, and this is, this method is static. Inside the static method, you cannot call non-static method directly. What is the possibility then? Possibility is create the object. Create the object for the class. Okay, with the object reference, you can do the call, no issues. Because now this obj is going to have a copy of method 1. It has such privilege that the access will be granted through obj to object reference. I can do this. This is possible. So conclusion is object creation is mandatory. Object creation is what? Mandatory. Making sense? Samyukta? Yeah, so you got me. So object creation is mandatory. Only static methods can be called directly inside the static contents. Okay. Now let us understand this. So this is a static method, and this is what? This is a this is non-static method. So let us do this. Now you see Java. You see the behavior of Java. Okay. In the static method, okay, this static method, I am trying to call method 2. Okay, so this line, focus on this line. I'm using the class name and I'm calling method 2. Method 2 is of what type? Static type. So this is a static method and this is a non-static method. Okay, first thing, in order to call method 1, object creation is mandatory, yes or no? In the main method, in order to call method 1, object creation is mandatory. So I'm creating the object a obj equal to new a. Object creation is mandatory to call method 1. So I'm calling obj dot method 1. Till here we don't have any issues. We can directly say yes, method 1 is being called. Okay, this method 1 will get executed. But inside the method 1 there is a static method. Inside the method 1 there is a static method. Here the question is, can we call static method inside a non-static method? Can we call? So this is static method. I am trying to call a static method inside where? Inside a non-static method. Can we call? What are your thoughts, everyone? What are your thoughts? Everyone answers. Shweta, Jyotian. No. Please, don't make me to repeat your names over and over again. Venkatesh, Parimi, Teja, Jyoti, yes. Samyukta. Either you can answer yes or no, or you can say don't know. But have you understood my question? Samyukta says yes. What about others? Okay, let me run this. We don't have, this is static method, this is instance method. This static method, this instance. So the conclusion is we can call the static method inside instance method. Let me write that here. Please be informed that the static methods can be called inside the instance method, but the instance methods can't be called directly from the static method. We can call instance method from the static method, but object creation is mandatory. But here there is object creation is not mandatory. Directly by using the using the respective method name, we can do the call. Making sense, everyone? Yes, no, maybe. Why Parmi is on hold? Everyone, are we good? Shall we proceed? Come on. Okay. Okay. Now this is very important point. Okay. If we access, for example, when we are trying to access, this is important. This is a very important interview question, guys. Just focus here. When we are trying to access static methods by using the object reference, which is pointing to the null value. Hello, we don't face any issues, and the respective static method will get executed. What does it mean? I will tell you now. I will tell you shortly. Okay. And when we are trying to access instance methods by using the object reference, which is pointing to null value, we face issues in the form of null pointer exception. It means null pointer exception will be displayed in the console. It is an exception, so we are going to discuss about exception in the future topics. Okay, exception is nothing but the abnormal termination. For that, what does it really mean? Let me give the justification for this particular theory. Okay, let me go back to the program. Okay, over here, okay, let me remove this. So let me remove also this. Oh, I have two methods. One is static, one is instance. Okay, so we know already during the object creation we do what? We use new keyword, right? New obj, the new a obj equal to new a. So this new a is what? This is going to create an object, and this object will be addressed by the name of the reference variable obj. Instead of creating new a, if I refer this reference variable to null value, okay, refer this reference variable to null value, and if I call a particular method, it can be static or non-static. When I do a method call for the static method, okay, now you see I'm doing what method call? Obj.method2. Method2 is of what type? Static type. But obj is not creating any object, it is pointing to a null value. Okay, so the moment I do this, I don't get any issues. Static method will get executed. That's what I return. Okay, static method will get executed. See, when we are trying to access static method by using the object reference, which is pointing to the null value, we don't face any issues, and the respective static method will get executed. But okay, when I do the opposite, when I try to do the same thing with the non-static methods, with what? With non-static methods, method 1, when I do the method call by using the object reference, which is pointing to null, I get null pointer exception. This is an interview question. Well, I did not say this properly, I think. Yes. Yeah. Null pointer exception. Why null pointer exception? What is this exception? That we will understand the future. Okay? This is one of the takeaways that you should remember. One of the takeaways. What is this null? We will discuss that. But this is one of the loophole that I can say. Okay? Because I have added this point, it means this is a justification for this theory. That's it. What is null pointer exception? That is different theory. So if you're not creating object, or if you're assigning this value to null, static methods, we don't face any issues. Okay, the question can be like this. They ask you, okay, if we get any null pointer exception on this, okay, experienced candidate definitely, because they lose touch, right? So there's definitely, they say we get null pointer exception, but the answer is we don't get null pointer exception. Why we don't get null pointer exception? This method 2 is of what type? Static in nature. Okay. The expression should be, if we are not getting null pointer exception, why we are not getting null pointer? Because static method can be called. They are shareable method. They are shareable, so it will work for static method. Why it will work for static method? Okay, you can, for the non-static methods, the only way is object creation, right? Only way is object creation. But this here, the object is not created properly. Object is not constructed properly. Or no? Object is not constructed properly or not created properly. Okay. Only object creation with the help of object reference, you can call methods, non-static methods, but object is incomplete. On top of incomplete object, if you call the method on top of incomplete object reference, you get null pointer exception. But same thing will not happen for static method. Why? You have another option for static method, right? You can also call static method by using what? Class name, or directly by using what? Method name. So these are the options, another options available for static method. That's why you won't get null pointer exception. Making sense, everyone? Yes, no? Are we good so far? Right? Can we proceed? Okay. Now, next point. So this is also important point. Please be informed that static methods are able to allow only static variables of the current class, not instance variables of the current class. Very simple, no? Current class. Okay. So the justification is what? Let me give you the justification. Okay, so I have, let me remove this method. Okay, now you tell me how many methods I have, guys. How many methods I have in this class? Answer, one method, yes. So let me take a static variable in static int a equal to 100. Okay, and let me take a non-static variable integer b equal to 200. System dot out dot println. What is the output now, guys? What is the output that will be displayed on the console? What we are doing here? What we are doing here? 100 is output. Why 100 is output? We are trying to access a variable. Now what is output if I do p? Now what is output? 200 is output. Very good, guys. Very good, very good. Okay, so let us understand this. Thank you for your answers. Okay, now you tell me, guys, what kind of variable is this? First you need to think. Okay, you need to think what? You need to think what type of variable that I'm assigning, I'm accessing. What type of variable that I'm accessing? Tell me what type of variable that I'm accessing. Tell me, static or non-static? Static variable I'm accessing, right? Static variable I'm accessing. Okay, what does the theory says? Static methods, static methods are able to allow only static variables. It is making very sense. Okay, by my theory, by my definition, okay, run this, okay, it is appropriate that the output is going to be 100. No issues with this. Why output is 100? Because static variables are accessed inside the main method, which is also called as the static method. This is also called as what? The static method. Okay. Now you tell me, by theory, now what variable I'm trying to access? Now what kind of variable I'm trying to access? Static or non-static? Definitely it's a non-static variables or instance variables. Good, Samyukta. Good, everyone. Instance variables. Okay. The moment I try to access instance variables, okay, I get error. That's what I'm saying. Non-static variable cannot be referenced from a static context because B is a non-static variable. I cannot access directly. If I can't access directly, what is the only way that I have? I need to create an object, right? Object creation is mandatory. So A obj equal to new A. By using the object reference, I can access non-static variables or instance variables. But for static variables, such kind of requirement is not there. Now this is possible by using, I need an object reference to access the non-static variables or instance variables. Object creation is mandatory. Very simple, guys. Static variable, no? This static variable. So inside the static method, I can directly access, no issues. Or I can use the class name a.a, no issues. Or I can also use object reference, no issues. But when it comes specifically to non-static variables, instance variables, object creation is mandatory. Making sense, yes or no? Everyone? Are you getting this? Everyone respond. Not only Jyoti, yes and no. Everyone respond. Are you getting this? Sweta, Parimi, Venkatesh. I want answers from everyone. Please keep the session interactive. These topics are very important, guys. Very important. Okay, so you can expect these questions, and if you're not able to answer these questions, definitely it is going to be ridiculous in the interview room because these things doesn't require much focus. Okay, right. Okay, the next point is, so now you see, I have just given the justification for this. Not what is it? Not the instance variables of the current class. To access instance variables from the static method, object creation is mandatory. Right? Okay, next point. Okay, so can we use this keyword in the static variable? Static methods. Okay, now this is very important question. See, we have been discussing about this keyword for the last 3 or 4 classes, right? The question is, can we use this keyword in the static methods? Let me take two methods. Sorry for the delay. I am sipping water. That's why. Okay, now you see interesting thing will happen here. Let me keep this. Okay, I'm taking an instance method, guys. Void method one. I have method one, which is instance method. I have method two, which is what? Which is static method. Okay, now println. Okay. Okay, now see the difference. Tell me, guys. Tell me how many methods I have. How many methods I have? Tell me. Program is visible, I think. How many methods I have? Totally. Come on. How many methods I have in the class here? 4, 3, 3. Okay, we have three methods. This is one method. This is another method. This is another method. Okay. How many methods are static methods? How many methods are static method among these three methods? So you should be able to recognize, yes, two methods are static, one is non-static. Okay. So now see, so this is a static variable and this is a non-static variable. This is what? This is static variable. This is non-static variable. Okay. So integer a equal to 200, integer b equal to 300. Okay. Now by using this keyword, if I do this dot a and this dot b, what is output now? So from the main method, it is very clear that method one is called. So method one is what? Instance method. Yes or no? So instant method will be recognized and executed. Okay. So inside the within the instant method, I have two variables. You don't call it as instance variables. When you place any variables inside a method, they will be addressed as local variables. It is independent of static variables, or it should be local variables itself. Local variable. You do not call it as instance variables. I am accessing this dot a and this dot b. Okay, this means class level variables. You should be understanding it like this should be replaced with a dot a, and here this should be replaced with a dot b. Okay, in the a class, in the class level, a means it's class level, not in the local level. The moment I do a dot a, it will identify the a variable in the class level. So these two variables are the class level variables. Why these are class level variables? They are outside the method but inside the class. That's why they are class level variables. Okay, a dot a. So a dot a will be identified as 100. B dot a dot b is going to be identified as 200. Okay, but the question here is we are accessing static variable inside instance method. I mean static variable inside instance method. Is it possible or not possible? Let us see that. Okay, let me run this. See, 100 200 is output. It means you can access static variable by using this keyword. Sorry, this keyword. I can say that you can access static variable by using this keyword in instance method. Are you getting this point, guys? There are 3 points here. You can access static variable by using this keyword in instance method. Inside the instance method, I have an option to access the static variables. Forget about non-instance. I have an option to access static variables by using this keyword. Okay, so can I repeat the same thing? Let me copy this. This is not answering this question. Okay. So now can I repeat the same thing here? Method 2. So I'm removing method 1 for the better observation. Okay. Now I have only two methods. Two methods are static methods. This is main method and this is a static method. This is method 2. I have declared two local variables inside this method. Okay. Now I'm trying to use this keyword. Okay, am I audible, guys? My screen is visible.
Yes, Anna.
Okay. Okay. You can access static variables by, see, now if I do the same thing, now if I try to execute this, we will definitely we will get an error. See, non-static variables, this cannot be referenced from a static. The conclusion is you cannot use this keyword in a static context. This keyword is not possible in a static context. This keyword is what? You cannot use this keyword either in the static method. I mean, you cannot refer any variable by using this keyword. That is the conclusion. This is a clear-cut conclusion. Okay? In non, it is just like in the non-static method, you can access static variable directly as well as instance variable directly. We will not face any issues. But in the static method, you want to access non-static variables or else instance variables, no, object creation is mandatory. That is one point, and you cannot use this keyword is not allowed. This keyword is not allowed inside the static method. Answer is no. This keyword is not allowed inside the static methods. Okay, when you do so, so this is example, you get this kind of error. Okay, and the program that we are working on is, this is example program. I will place these notes in the description. That's it. I think that's all about static methods in Java. Yes. So we are good with static method. These are the possible questions that you can expect from the static method. And we have what? We have static blocks. Static blocks. So let us do a small recap. So instance variables we have, and we have what? Static variables. Okay. So instance variables usually, not here. Let me So two variables, instance variables and static. We will understand the basic difference, nothing else. Okay, what is the basic difference? They are recognized and initialized before executing the constructor respective class constructor. Remember this, we have discussed this in our previous session. But static variables, they are recognized and initialized at the time of what? At the time of loading the dot class file to the memory. Okay, first point. Second point is they don't come up with any special keyword. So, example, integer a equal to 100. It requires data type, variable name and the value, but they could be recognized with the static keyword. Second point, example, static integer a equal to, okay, object creation is mandatory to call instance variables from the main method, right? Here object creation is not mandatory, right? So these are the three important points that you should have every time. These three important points. Everywhere you go, just try to remember these three important points, okay, for the better differentiation. Meanwhile, in the future classes, I will be we will be revisiting these topics over and over again in different context. That is different case. Okay, so this is all about static blocks. Tomorrow, static methods. Tomorrow we will discuss about static blocks and static imports. So the static context will be completed. Okay. So do you have any questions for me?